On the spectrum of basic to extra, we fall somewhere in the middle. We love a pumpkin spice latte, but if provoked, we will throw it in the face of our haters. Autumny. But imagine how much more gloriously extra we could be if only we had powerful magics at our disposal. Truly the finest use for magical abilities isn't saving the world or doing lightning bolt, but stunting on those who annoy us, or simply for the drama, like that attention seeker Voldemort. No, look at me, I'm Voldemort, I've got a giant snake and no nose. Anyway, please enjoy these inspiringly extra uses of magic by these inspirational magic users, and beware spoilers for the following games. Oh, okay, that's the intro done. I can carry on talking about Voldemort because have you seen that guy? He dresses like he went to a garage sale at Death's house and he can't even kill Harry Potter, who's like a baby. Another thing, why hasn't he got a nose? Like what happened to it? Did he get it caught in a door? What? And oh, I'm a snake, I can talk to snakes. Oh, you talk to snakes, great, what have they got to say? Oh, I ate some eggs. Well, cool, glad you had a good time talking to snakes.
And your mic's still on.
Oh,
Wait a minute, is this what I think it is?
It is if you want it to be. We elves might seem strange by your standards. You saved my life. A bit of joy as recompense is not too much to ask.
Taking your clothes off is such a chore, isn't it? All those zips and buckles, 2 socks, and then you've got to find somewhere to put them that isn't just on the floor, and then you get arrested because this is all taking place in a busy McDonald's. Or at least you do if you're a regular person and not a legendary Temerian sorceress like Triss Merigold from The Witcher 2. To be fair, looking at her outfit, that is a ton of straps and clasps to be undoing. Even so, using actual purple magic sparkles to dissolve your clothes just so you can do a bit of skinny dipping is more extra than guacamole on your burrito. In fact, I'd say that's almost as extra as having sex on a unicorn. Speaking of, not to be outdone, Geralt's other main love interest, Yennefer, ups the ante in The Witcher 3. This powerful sorceress ensorcels her clothes off to get it on with Geralt on the back of a unicorn, an intensely magical pan-dimensional creature that really probably wouldn't be okay with this if it weren't dead and stuffed.
My heart couldn't take it. So many memories.
Or maybe it would. I'm not here to kink-shame unicorns.
Lady Trevelyan of Ostwick, representing the Inquisition.
What a pleasure to meet you, my lady. Seeing the same faces at every event becomes so tiresome.
Once you reach a certain level of wealth and power in society, you have a sacred responsibility to throw baller masquerade parties at your palatial fantasy crib.
I have heard the most curious tales of you. I cannot imagine half of them are true.
That means playing host to people who are dressed like someone spent too long in the Soul Calibur character creator.
Better and better. The Inquisition should attend more of these parties.
Unfortunately, some will drone on and on about the tedious goings-on at court, and you have to listen to them. Thanks, social contract.
Bastien probably wishes to distance himself from the actions of his one-time son-in-law.
Duke Bastien, really, no way. That's what you have to do if you're a normal person. But if you're a lavishly cheek-boned mage of unparalleled political standing in Orlesian high society, like Dragon Age Inquisition's Vivienne, then you want your grand entrance at the party to be as extra as your weird Maleficent hat thing. Still, some might say it's going a little far to use your incredible magical gifts drawn from the spirit realm of the Fade to freeze solid a rude party guest.
If you were a woman of honor, you'd step outside and answer the charges.
My dear Marquis, how unkind of you to use such language in my house to my guests.
And then let a stranger decide whether that rude guest lives or dies.
My lady, you're the wounded party in this unfortunate affair. What would you have me do with this foolish, foolish man?
Some might say that, but we say, yes, Vivienne, F him up. Wow, Vivienne, remind us never to make fun of your hat thingy. Again, first time didn't count.
You look like someone who can hold their liquor. How about a friendly contest to win a staff?
In the world of the Elder Scrolls, Daedric princes are as close to gods as makes no difference. Brimming as they are with dark Daedric magic and looking like Dark Souls bosses rejected for being too terrifying.
My, what do we have here?
So you'd think the life of a Daedric prince would be pretty demanding, yeah? With lots of weighty responsibilities that weigh heavy on the heart and mind and leave little room for fabulous flights of fancy? Question mark?
I'll start round one. Down the hatch.
Apparently not if you're Sanguine, the Daedric Prince of Hedonism, who, in an incredibly extra move, uses his limitless cosmic power to take human form, hang out in Skyrim bars, and challenge randos to drinking contests.
You know, you're a fun person to drink with. I know this great little place where the wine flows like water. We should head there.
And then go out on a tear with said randos, pulling drunken pranks that it's going to take you, the rando in question, absolutely ages to try and put right the following morning.
You've got a lot of nerve showing yourself in this town again. What do you have to say for yourself?
This is all before cheeky funster Sanguine finally reveals his true form, which, for peak extraness, looks exactly like Star Wars baddie Darth Maul, so add copyright infringement to his list of crimes.
I haven't been so entertained in at least 100 years.
Well, I'm glad you had fun. My mouth feels like a Draugr crawled in there and died. Again. I don't know why we were surprised at how fabulously extra Sanguine is. Those who remember this larky japester from Oblivion will recall the quest in which he tasks you with sneaking into a fancy dinner party and casting a spell called Stark Reality, which, let me just check my notes here, yes, makes everyone's clothes fall off. Of course it does, Sanguine.
The Mortal Kombat series has more evil wizards than a Slytherin mixer. There's Quan Chi, who uses his magic for hypnotism and skulls. Scarlet, who is into magic blood. And the Toasty guy, who can magically appear from nowhere whenever something is toasty, I guess. One mighty sorcerer who takes his powers even less seriously than that, however, is Shang Tsung.
Are you still eager to die, Mr. Cage?
Shang Tsung is a magic user in the Mortal Kombat universe who must consume the souls of his enemies to survive. While souls are invariably delicious, this also has the bonus effect of letting Shang Tsung shapeshift into the form of any of the other fighters from the tournament. This is, of course, tactically advantageous, as it lets Shang Tsung flummox his opponents by turning into them, and then punching them in the face while shouting, stop hitting yourself, I imagine. That's not even the most amazingly extra use of his shape-shifting powers, however. For us, that's a toss-up between turning into obscure game characters from the 80s...
Shang Tsung wins.
Sure, and transforming into a clown for some reason. Which is even more confusing when you realise that this is exactly the same as the Joker's fatality in Mortal Kombat vs DC Universe. So did Shang Tsung play Mortal Kombat vs DC Universe and decide to use dark sorcery to rip off one of the moves of a character in that other game? If so, I think this puts it over the top. Sorry, little ostrich thing from Joust.
In The Sims, you're free to pursue any life path that you choose. From famous influencer to infamous vampire to someone who lives with a bunch of cats.
The carousel, the roof was caving in.
And then stop there, because that's the best one, obviously. With the exception, of course, of being a witch in the magical Sims 3 Supernatural expansion. This expansion grants you the ability to make all sorts of incredible arcane elixirs and dress like Morticia Addams on a night out. There's plenty of good that you can do with these elixirs, from the Good Luck Charm, which puts affected Sims in a great mood, or the Bladder Charm, which magics the urine out of their bladders and into a magical realm somewhere, I expect. No one tell J.K. Rowling. But what's the point of becoming a witch if you're just going around helping people? Why not instead use all that magical power to do something completely useless and extra, just because you can, like turning a rock into a toad? Or summoning a snack for your vampire pal. Or, if you're like this, turning this hard-working beekeeper, who someone probably needs for making honey, into a zombie. A zombie who'll probably go on to create a zombie army and wreck up everyone's fancy sim houses. I think we proved our point. Okay, one more. Skeleton servants. Well, this finally explains why all my Sims keep wetting themselves.
Huh. My lipstick.
If you ever need someone to be completely, totally extra, then look no further than Bayonetta, whose first game, we remind you, ended with her literally punching God in the face with a giant fist made of her own incredibly conditioned hair. That's what I call a bad hair day. Anyone? In fact, Bayonetta finds many over-the-top uses for the magical powers granted to her as an Umbran witch, which is why you'll often see her doing things like, for example, riding a clock through space or ramping a motorbike off an exploding oil tanker. It's not all catsuits made of hair and punching gods in the face, however. Bayonetta also knows that sometimes the most frivolous, irresponsible and downright extra uses of magic are the low-key ones. For example, using the fact that Umbran witches are usually invisible to non-magical mortals to f*** with this chump Luca.
Nothing. Damn.
Yeah, way to take photos, Luca. Bayonetta's supernatural bullying doesn't end there though, as she then goes on to draw all over his face with lipstick.
I've often seen a girl without lipstick, but lipstick without a girl? Most curious, isn't it, Cheshire?
Luca now has to do this entire cutscene with his face covered in lipstick like he passed out at a party, which, to be fair, is very funny. Nice one, Bayo.
And don't you think it's a little strange to be worried about my well-being?
And it's a nice relaxed change of pace from, let me check my notes here, being thrown guns by Santa, who is driving a Cadillac sideways along a building so that she can fight her enemies on the wing of an F-16 fighter jet. Good notes this week.
Darkstalkers fighting games aren't short of magical fighters with a flair for the dramatic, showy, or lavishly weird. Case in point. But for our money, the most aspirationally extra of the Darkstalkers roster is Lilith. She's a sassy succubus with the kind of pink pixie cut and Hot Topic bat leggings that teenage me would have cheerfully killed for. And when she's not stocking up on cotton candy pink manic panic, Lilith is using her succubus magic to weave spells more iconically extra than the spare pair of wings on her head. Of course she can turn all her clothes into a cloud of magical attack bats. But what could be more on-brand than Lilith's devastating super move, Gloomy Puppet Show? In this move, Lilith pulls off a saucy mid-fight costume change, magically constructs a temporary stage with curtains, then ridicules her helpless opponents by taking control of their body and making them do a little dance. Also, her stage lighting crew is a bunch of bats flapping around with coloured spotlights. Whether that's magic or expert animal training, it is for sure goals. Anyway, sorry, but it's a thumbs down from Lilith.
Thanks for watching this video about extra uses of magic in video games, but if you have any extra time, then why not watch more videos from Outside Xbox? So here we have a video from us, which is about enemies who became your best friends in the sequel, and down here's a video from Outside Extra, which is about the dumbest things you got attached to in video games.
Are you not done with this outro yet? We need to film our stuff.
Be gone, hater!
Ah, the moneymaker!
Haters.